You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If on the other hand you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 25th day of January, 2019. Here it is. Short week, 4 days, holiday at the beginning of the week. So on a holiday Monday, you get a double treat. The Monday and then Friday comes sooner, and we know everybody's working for the weekend, and here it is. If you are returning, welcome back. If you are here for the first time, a special welcome to you. We're glad to have you with us. If you cannot see the gridlocked chart, which is no longer gridlocked, that I have up, it's the S&P 500 Emini Futures. Go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and then you'll have full access to the charts, to the chat box, to the discussion, to the show each and every day. On the days that you find yourself away from the computer, maybe you're on a smartphone or a tablet, go to youtube.com/CFRN/live, And there you have it. And thanks to YouTube for carrying the show. How about that gold? I've got the S&P 500 Emini Futures chart up right now. But let's just peek at gold. Because gold's been in kind of a... Yeah. Look at that. That's one of the biggest one-day, intraday moves that we've seen in gold in quite some time. Now that is a current weekly trading zone. All of these are 78, 79, which over the course of the week we've gone up to the zone, down, consolidated, back down, back up, back down, tried to go up, came back down, made it up and took off. Now is there a zone in the middle there? Let me check. 84, 85, 90, 91. Nope, that's it. Nice job, gold. Well done. Well done. Okay, let's take a look at the numbers around the world, and then we'll go to Michael for a recap of everything that happened in the live training room today. We had a great workshop last night. If you weren't able to attend, by all means, catch the video. All right. And it's in the Telegram channel. And if you need that link, just let us know. Okay, if you're a partner or passport holder. Okay, these are cash markets. We're going to start in the U.S. The Dow is currently up 233 points. NASDAQ is up 89. S&P 500 up 25. And the Russell 2000 up 17. Now for the NASDAQ, that's a 1.25% gain. The Dow's at almost 1%, S&P almost 1%, and the Russell 1.25%. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 48 cents, trading 53.61 last. Gold up $18.29, that's almost 1.5%, trading 12.9810 last. In the Asian markets, at the close, the Nikkei was up 198 points, almost 1%. Shanghai was up 10, and the Hang Seng was up 448 at the close. That's a little over 1.5%. So a real turnaround Friday we have going. Green in Asia. Green in the UK, except for the FTSE, which was down 10. DAX was up 151 and the CAC was up 53. And it's a green day here in the US of A. Apparently the markets aren't concerned about the gridlock on Capitol Hill. Now we were gridlocked ourselves most of yesterday. And well, you can see where I've drawn it in. It started and it just couldn't cut loose. This last week, weekly trading zone, 2634/35, has seen a lot of activity this week. We got back up to that 2650/51, consolidated for, gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, say about 7 hours. The first run up took us to 2656.25. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. Price gets back below the trigger, confirms that this weekly trading zone is going to behave as good support, which indeed it did. And there we go. Right up to the zone at 62.63. That's not the highest weekly trading zone. Above that we have 2690/91. Now, considering the performance so far today, it might be a stretch to expect to see that today. Won't rule anything out, but certainly we could see it on the Sunday night Globex Open, depending upon what happens between now and then. Let's go to Michael and get a recap of everything that happened in the training room today. Are you ready, Michael? I guess that's a no. Did gold have a higher zone? Yes, it did. Hang on, and I'll bring it up. The highest weekly trading zone for gold this week, 1310/1311. Now I remind you, 1310. We'll go through the zones for this week on the indices, and here they are in gold. But might jot them down. They will be of value next week. Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday. Guaranteed. Alright, that's the highest weekly zone for gold. Now maybe gold was the one that had one in the middle here. Let's see. 84.85. Yeah, there was actually one here. 90.91. And we ripped through that and did not pull back to test the zone, which leads me to believe if this pullback continues, that's where we're headed. $90.91. Are you there, Michael?
I am here.
Oh, Pete Doke. If you let me just let me draw this real quick while I'm talking about it, and then you can have it.
Okay.
Big move in gold, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a very big move in gold.
Haven't seen that in a while. Okay, the zone that it didn't really come back to test, as it normally would do, also happens to be the 38% fib retracement from the low to the last night's low, or this morning's low. No, yesterday's low. How about that? Yeah. To today's high. So if we had a 38% retracement, that would bring it right back to this 90.91 and then set it up for a move higher Sunday night, next Monday, Tuesday, up to this 1310/1311. Okie doke. If you're ready, we'll take that recap.
Okay. All right. Let me bring it over. Bring it over here. There you go. Just like that.
Apparently the market's not concerned about the gridlock on Capitol Hill.
Not concerned. Well, you know,
as it chose to move higher anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can show in different ways and different forms over time with the gridlock. You know,
true.
There's a lot of people not getting paid, so there's a lot of money not getting spent right now.
That's true too.
So
when does the Fed meet next? Any idea?
Yeah, next week.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. And those new home sales that came out today, we were talking about those last night.
We had new home sales today? I didn't have that.
You didn't? Let me check. Maybe I had it wrong. We were talking about it last night, though. Today, Friday. Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern. New home sales.
I have.
And it came in. They were forecasting. You know what? But there's no actual number there.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
Friday. I'm on investing.com. Friday, January 25th, 2019. 10 a.m. Eastern, right after the core durable goods, which came out at 8:30. So
yeah, I'm looking on the Daniels Trading one right now, and it doesn't have it either today. It has the Baker Hughes U.S. oil rig count.
Yeah, I see that one in 43 minutes, but you don't show it at 10 a.m. That's interesting.
I don't show it here or on the Forex Factory.
Well, maybe it didn't happen because in the actual column they've got the forecast 560,000, they got the previous 544,000, but there's nothing in the actual column.
Yeah. See, I didn't have any news today showing here, and on the Daniels Trading one.
What if you click the little more button at the?
Oh, there. Yeah, it does have a more button. It just goes to the rest of the week. See, and FOMC is right here next week on Wednesday.
Okay, well, possibly they move the new home to next week or something. Maybe
Yeah,
because of the holiday. I don't know.
No, that's possible because of the holiday. Let's see. We have. I'm trying to read this. I don't have my glasses on. I don't see it at all here right now. New home sales, but the end of next week, there's a lot of stuff that, the beginning of the month stuff is coming out at the end of next week. So Friday, Thursday, Friday, well, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, we have a lot of news coming out. Here's new home sales right here. That's on Thursday. Oh, that's Australian. Sorry, that's Australian. Sorry.
Oh, the WASD comes out next week. No? Well,
I think that's going to come out the following Tuesday, I think. I'm not sure. I can do more, and we'll see. Tuesday, non-manufacturing PMI, trade balance. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. In the next 2 weeks, there's a lot of news coming out. And I don't see the WASD.
Consumer confidence comes out next week, too.
Yeah.
Previous number was 128. They're looking this time for 125.
So a drop in consumer confidence.
Yep.
Well, that'll happen when, you have all those federal employees not getting paid. And, they only interview like 500 or something like that, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's pretty rough. All right, I'll let you get at it. I'll hit mute, and it's all yours.
Okay. All right. I am ready for it. Hang on. Let me get my this one. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Friday, the 25th day of January, 2019. 25th day of January. We're almost done with January already. All right. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page at CFRN.net. The home page at CFRN.net. And in the right-hand column, where it says apply.cfrn.net, click on that, and you will be brought to this page, where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit the submit button. Once you hit that submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. You got to click on that confirmation link. Okay. Okay. Spreadsheet. Okay, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, as I said, is the 25th day of January, 25th day of January, 2019. So today we made 10 ticks in crude and 13 ticks on the ES. That put us at plus 262.50. 262.50. And today it took 35 minutes and 4 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 per contract, and we took a total of 6 trade opportunities this morning. All right, so on the month now, we're at 1,976. That's over 17 days, averaging 116 per day. On the year, same thing, because it's January. Okay? Okay. Let's go look at what we did. Now, with all this run-up in gold and all that, you'd think we had a whole bunch of gold trades, but we didn't. We didn't. Most of the run-up was in the pre-market. It was before we even opened up. And usually when that happens, it's going to be choppy during the regular market. There was all this right here, but it was putting in new highs the whole way up, so I couldn't do anything with it. Then it started to pull back, and then the cycle went down with it. This again right here, putting in new highs, so we couldn't do anything all the way up here. Okay, then right here, it pulled back, gave us a shorting opportunity that I missed. It spun around and gave us a long opportunity over here that I also missed. This was at the end of the session this morning. Andy asked me to go over it with him before I close down. And yeah, there was nothing there. And that was it on the gold. And now, we'll see if gold's going to continue higher. Not exactly sure why it was running, but I didn't go and look for any particular stuff. I had highlighted this area right here because I wasn't going to do anything with the euro until it got out of that area, and it didn't get out of that area until the end of the session. And even then, there was nothing to do with it. Okay. See right here, we have lower highs, higher lows. This, the euro was just a mess. You know, it had this run up here, but there were no trade opportunities in there because it also was going into the high of the day. And before that, it looks like this was a steady climb up right here, but it wasn't that steady, and the slingshot wasn't allowing us to get into it. All right. Over here, we have a nice bearish divergence, bearish separation. But right here, we're trading above the BBC. Okay, we finally get down below the BBC, and by the time we get anything that looks like a trade setup, the black step line started to cross. So we couldn't do anything with that. All right. And the markets, they have just been a mess, really. Mike, did gold have a higher zone? No news because of shutdown. Is that a question, Wayne? The new home sales, is that what you're talking about? I mean, they didn't have any scheduled news events, so it wasn't because of the shutdown. It was just they didn't have any scheduled news events that I had on any of my lists today. Okay, so crude oil, let me back it out some because it's a little messy. Okay, loading data. Now it started out right here. I missed the short there, and I missed the short there. This one didn't put in a lower swing, so it did not continue the trend, so you would anticipate a trend change. Then the cycle started going up steep. MA1's going up steep. Good opportunity, right? Well, we got in over here on a momentum long trade, and we got out right there on a break even. We got in right here, and then it went 4 ticks into profit, came back down, took us out, and then continued up. So we had 2 break evens there. Then this one over here, we picked up 5 ticks. Or wait a minute. Well, one of these I got 1 tick on. This one over here, we picked up 5 ticks, and this one we picked up 4 ticks to put us at plus 10 on crude. Then look how choppy it got. And you know, the indicators and the trade setups kept us out of all of that chop. All right, and here we're at the end of the session this morning. It started to give a trade here, but it didn't. All right, and I'm looking for something in here, but it really wasn't. Oh, okay, according to CNBC. Well, what does Fox say? It looks like there might have been a long trade right in here. Okay, I probably wouldn't have done it because it's flat toward the middle, but I'm going to draw you a trend line. The trend line would have been like that. The up closed above it right there. Would have been a break-even trade anyway, even if you did take it. But that was it for crude. Now the ES, we had just a couple of trades here on the ES. Scroll back. Now it started out right in here, and again it was a slow grind, but it wasn't really trending in here, so I wasn't doing anything with it until we started a nice trend. Then we started to trend right in here. Okay, we started to trend, and right here I didn't do anything. I think because it was going into the high of the day, and because the cycle was going down a little bit steep for me, we finally got a pullback over here, and I went long right there on the close above this trend line. The MA1 was blue and going up, the cycle blue and going up. Bullish separation between the green line and the cycle. So we jumped in there and we took 8 ticks profit right up here. When the green line started to get up into the cycle here, I moved my stop right up behind price. We got 8 ticks profit on that. We had a follow-up trade right here that I did not take. It had already closed up above the MA1. I was talking about this trade while this one was happening, and I missed it. This one over here, I can't believe that it did not hit the weekly trading zone. I was telling everybody, I think it's going right down to the zone. And then while I was still going over my recap this morning, filling out the spreadsheet, it got down here within 1 tick of the zone. But this was a close below the trend line because the cycle down here was the wrong color. Okay. And in both of these trades this morning, I tried to do a really good anticipation description, put it on, and talk about what it was doing while it was going on. I tried to do that this morning. Hopefully everybody benefited from that. And sadly, it did not hit the weekly trading zone. It got close. And since then, there's been nothing. It's just been garbage in here. You know, you might have gone long right here, but you'd have gotten a break even right here. So that was it for the morning. Let me get this back up here. Okay. And I'll scroll it backward to here. Today is, as I said, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 25th day of January, 2019. We made 10 ticks on crude and 13 ticks on the ES. That put us at plus 262.50 this morning. Today it took, what does that say? 35 minutes. 35 minutes and 4 trades to get to $100 a contract, and we took a total of 6 trades. On the month now, we're at $1,976. That's over 17 days, averaging $116 per day. Okay, 1976 over 17 days, averaging $116 per day. And that's where we are on the year as well. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage at www.cfrn.net and right over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial. Click on apply.cfrn.net. Once you do that, you will be brought to this page where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit the submit button. When you hit that submit button, you will be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, then you don't get a free trial. Okay, because we don't know you took the trial until you click that link. Okay, and that is my recap for the morning. So now we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Studio A overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready.
Here's Dwayne. Okay, I see that Wayne typed in.
I have to use this umbrella to protect myself from the torrent of illegal.
Okay, I was looking to see the. He said we had no news because of the shutdown. Okay, but we did have news about Roger Stone, longtime friend and advisor to Trump, charged as part of the special counsel investigation over his communication with WikiLeaks. He was charged with 7 counts, including obstruction of an official proceeding, making false statements, and witness tampering. Boy, this thing just keeps going.
They're just not going to let that go. And you know, I have no words. I have no words.
Yeah, I really don't either. I have some words. I'll take the charts back.
Okay.
And I spoke with John, and he should be popping in here momentarily.
Okay. And Dr. Tom sent me an email asking for John's information.
Oh yeah, he texted me yesterday and asked. I'll get it off to him.
Okay. Well, I'll send him the email address.
Okay. Yeah, that'll get him started.
Yeah.
I'd like to have that information as well. That would be a good resource for me.
Okie doke. I'll make sure you all get it.
Okay.
All right. Charts back up. There's gold. So gold's coming back. If it gets to 1294, that's a 24% retracement. And then the 38 is right there in the middle of that 1290/91 zone. And I think there's a good probability of it coming back there, because as it ripped through it on the way up, it never came back to test it. And as we can see, that's usually what happens. But we didn't get that. Well,
and that is right at 50% too, isn't it? Just about.
Here's the 50 down here. Yeah, that's the 38 right there.
I gotta put those numbers on mine. I don't have the numbers on mine.
Yeah, if you double click, you can do all kinds of stuff. Where you want it aligned, near or far, text option. So I've got level and value. The other options are current value. You can hide it.
Yeah, I probably have a really old version. I mean, I'm 40-something versions behind as far as updates go, because I don't like to do updates. Because they're usually full of bugs.
Well, I don't think you need an update for this one.
Let me hit properties and see if I have all that same stuff. Yeah, I do. Text option. Hidden is what mine says.
Okay, well, that's why. And then you can put the number on top, you can put it on the bottom, you can change the font, you can change the size, you can make it bold, you can change the colors, you can make it yours. You can own it.
I can. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for that lesson.
S&P 500. Okay, the market. This is just what I was talking about with gold. That didn't happen. Price got to the zone. It moved up, pulled back to test, almost to the tick. It looks like the low was 63 1/4. So pullback missed it by a tick. And now it's put in another leg, or it's putting in another leg. These are 30-minute candles. And we haven't, we closed above this close, but we haven't closed above that little spike high. I don't see much in the way of us getting up there, except the Sunday night open, which was 2677.75, and that was an interesting open too, because we opened here. No, that's Friday. Pardon me. Oh, that's Friday. That's right. That spike high was put in on last Friday. It was the final. Yeah, now that's very interesting. So the final 30 minutes last Friday, price rushed up and put in that big green candle. Let me do it this way so we can see it. There we go. Okay, so last Friday, and then Sunday night is actually right here. And it's been steady down ever since. Some consolidation at the zones, and so that price again last Friday, 2677.75. Well, I would be careful if you're long or getting long. I would be careful up around that area, because even though price may want to go to the zone, it may not be able to go until it deals with that previous high. So that's important. Hang on to that. Okay, let's take a look on the Concierge Trade Alerts last night. We said to consider buying the S&P at 2654, and we put in a high at 2672.50. I guess that's about 18 points. The first move up was a couple points, came back to tested the zone and the alert, and then off it goes. Now when it hit the zone, it came off all the way back down to like 2656 and headed right back up. And the opening candle, that was the opening candle right there. On the Dow, the Concierge Trade Alert was to consider buying 24,550. There's the initial move up, which took us to 24,616. Came back to test and got 20. The low was 548. So 2 points below the trigger, and then off it goes again, doing pretty much what the S&P did. You may have noticed they do that quite a bit. Now the next zone overhead is 24,880, and the last zone we moved through was 24,590, right here. 24,590/95. And below that, I don't think that's from this week. 24.4. It was this week. It was 24.420/25. So I'll just put that one there. So the Dow traveling kind of like the S&P, zone to zone, back and forth, caught in that gridlock, and now it's broken free. The Russell, we went from the trading zone at 1448.49. That's where that should be. 1448.49. And then the next one overhead was 72.73, which is right here. And then, as you can see up here, this one should be 80.81. And the Concierge Trade Alert on the Russell last night was, let me double check, I think it was 1482, 1483. And we've only made it up to 1485.5 so far, but it's come back to test both the entry and the zone, so we'll see where it goes from here. And the NQ 67.81.82, yes. Now the next zone overhead is 68.40, right there. And then 45.46, that was this week, and 73.74, that was also this week. And below that was 64.80, way down there, and we've not seen that. And we've already looked at gold, but we'll take a look at it again. Well, that's crude. Crude's been difficult at best. Have you been trading much crude in the live trading room, Michael?
Oh yeah, crude's our best gainer this month.
Excellent. What was the recap of the recap today?
Today, it took 35 minutes and 4 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and all 4 of those trades were crude trades.
Gotta send the bell to the shop.
That's okay. We all have the bell in our mind, right, Valerie?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. You probably know when I'm going to ring it.
Yes.
And then one last look here at gold. Okay, gold's coming off, but it's in no hurry. I'm sure John would be very excited about this move. Palladium, I think, hit a new all-time high today. Let me take a peek. He's been talking about that for
The
quite
Palladium?
a while. I saw a headline somewhere. This thing in Venezuela, I don't know if you've been following that. I haven't followed it closely, but so this guy steps up and goes, "I'm the boss now," and Trump says, "Okay." I'm sure there's more to it than that. That's how closely I followed it. That's as much as I know about it.
Yeah, that's more than I know.
Hang on, it's John. Hi, John.
Yep, he just popped in. He doesn't have his audio on yet.
Oh, that was his jingle for me to bring him on.
Okay, here, I'll unmute him.
Hey, John. Welcome to the show. Good to have you.
There.
Thanks for
joining
us.
Well, I guess we were a little bit prophetic yesterday in some of our calls.
On the gold? You're talking about the gold?
Well, if you remember what I said about platinum being dynamically bullish, and I don't say that word very often. Look, we're going to have there's a what I think is going to be a possible upside explosion in the metals here, based on what's going on here. The metals, in fact, all of them have turned dynamically bullish this morning. What I mean by that is the next up move will probably be a big surprise. It's going to be stronger and more vertical than what we've seen, since these recent lows. And as we commented yesterday, the gold has been trading in a $20 range after a $100 up move, has not yielded anything below 1280 on the Feb. I mean, this is really amazing. Look, it didn't even test 1275. Barely got there, maybe just close, for a nanosecond. And now here we are pushing 1300 on the Feb, and we're up around 1305 on the April, 1302.3 now. Look, we're up $17. We're up 40. We were up 18 on the gold a short while ago. We're up almost $40 on palladium. We're up $14 on the platinum, which I predicted might happen yesterday. The copper, we're up 8 cents. That's the biggest up move in copper I've seen in a long, long time. And what is that saying? What it's telling me is, as we've been saying for a while now, there's a coordinated central bank intervention going on around the world, and from China to Japan to Europe to London. The Deutsche, Draghi over in Europe is definitely. You look at the way the European markets have performed in the last few days. The semiconductors. Listen, the semiconductors are the kind of canary in the coal mine. You've had 2 days back to back of a virtual 20% up move in semiconductors. That's a massive up move, pretty much across the board, and they're still going higher today, even though Intel got knocked down for some forecasting kind of light. They beat their numbers and everything, and they got, the guy made some sort of cautionary comments or something, so they knocked the stock down temporarily. I don't expect that to stay for too long, the situation. It's going to be a buy on this dip, I think. So and here we are with the Nasdaq up 100. Yesterday was a strange day because we had the strong semis, and we did get a bit of a pullback. As I said, we might come back and test the 100 on the Xilinx and the SOXL, and we sort of tested, almost got there, and here we are today at 109 on the SOXL. We're 100 on the TECL, and we're 6,800 on the Nasdaq, and 2670 or so on the S&P. I mean, look, this is a fantastic day. We're up almost 300 on the Dow. However, and we did say that this last week in January is a pretty cyclically strong period. It took a while to get going the last few days, but it's really motoring today. I also think there's probably going to be some sort of, they're getting pretty close to a resolution on this shutdown.
You think?
And I do, yeah. I think they might be able to hammer out something even over the weekend or early into Monday. They might even be able to get the State of the Union back on track. So it's could be delayed for a few days, but I think they're pretty close to getting something done right now. And then Trump may do one of his weekend surprises like he did last weekend. So he may have something cooking. So
that would not surprise me at all.
Right.
Oh,
so
Tim just typed in that the president's going to speak in 15 minutes.
Oh, there you go.
White House preparing for possible Rose Garden event amid a shutdown.
Oh, there you go. So that could be a breakthrough could be coming. So listen, this is what is really going on. By the way, remember we talked about lumber going limit up yesterday?
Yes, we did.
It almost went up another $10 or so today. It's coming off a bit right now, but lumber's had a huge rebound, and that's a function of reflation going on, and it doesn't get more bullish than when gold and the stock market are going
hard. Look at this 30-minute candle I've got up.
Oh yeah, we are. Shoot. Right. Maybe.
Now, aside from what's going to happen in a few minutes in the Rose Garden, what do you think is going to happen at the Fed meeting next week?
That's a good question. The bonds, peaked yesterday, and they're starting to come off today, which is helping the market. And with the gold being higher, the bonds may actually start to fall. And remember, you had this record unemployment claims drop yesterday, jobless claims. That's a sign of a very strong economy. So the bonds in their recent rally may have kind of overdone it to the upside, and we may be going to a situation where the bonds are sensing the economy's stronger again. So the Fed may not be so dovish, tomorrow. We'll have to, or next week rather, we'll have to see, how things shake out. But look, the best news is we're rallying right into the end of the month, and the more that happens, the better for everybody. And it's rather remarkable that the market is kind of shaking off this shutdown blues, if you like, as well. And but to see these metals performing so well, the other thing is the dollar is tanking. The British pound we've talked about, especially on this after what we said yesterday on. Yeah,
that was a great show yesterday. With
it really was.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom did a great very comprehensive overview of everything, and rather came up with some interesting. It was a really great day because I'm sure most people appreciated. The implications of it are pretty profound, and he's probably right on the money, because look, if it does break up, it is a different world, and it's a world where the possible fracturing of the European Union could put the banking sector in danger. And one of the biggest drivers of gold is the fear of the European banking system going down, and led by Deutsche Bank. So that's really which is a bank that's in a lot of trouble. It's been making new 2009 lows. That's a pretty bad development for that bank. I haven't looked at it today, but it might have rallied some, but it's pretty significant, and it's kind of there in the background. But look, you've got a very competent guy in Draghi, who is not afraid to do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes. Deutsche Bank has actually rallied quite a lot here in the last. There may have been a bailout of Deutsche Bank actually behind the scenes, which would also be supportive of the markets. So,
Maxine Waters met with Jamie Dimon this week, so I guess that's her way of saying she wants to get paid.
All right. Okay. Well, the other thing is they're trying to create a merger between Commerzbank and Deutsche Bank as well, which could be helpful to alleviating this situation. But look, in the same way that all the banks that were in a problem in 2011 and 2009 got their act together and came out of it, and as I said yesterday, the banks have had the most profitable year in history in the US. I don't know about Europe. Things do get fixed in time, and it can change everything. So the markets are acting really, really well right now. After this, look, we've been in the biggest bull market of all time. We've been in the most powerful uptrend ever, and for this shellacking that we got, which was basically a 3-month pullback, the smart money, there was such a shakeout in the stocks. The smart money has stepped in pretty aggressively right after Christmas and said this is a fantastic opportunity to get back long this market. And so far they've been 100% right. Now, is there going to be a pullback or correction? Undoubtedly there will be, but not necessarily right away. We could have a strong quarter. It could be very much like 87, where we don't run into trouble maybe till March or April. And you know, then we might have some issues, you know, just like back in '87, April, May, and then after that the market went up 30%, and I wouldn't do it. I can see that happening, not necessarily on that timeline, but I think between now and 2020, there's a pretty good chance that something like that's going to happen to this market.
At this point, you can't rule anything out.
Yeah, yeah. It's wide open, and there's all kinds of things could happen. And you got this Venezuela issue as well. You know, that may have some of that may be impacting the gold today.
Now what's the backstory? How did that guy walk in and just say, "Okay, I'm going to be the new boss"?
Well, he is the opposition leader. You know, I think he's possibly elected. A very charismatic guy. Obviously pretty brave, and to be able to, you know, do that.
So it wasn't a coup, or it was a coup?
I don't know. You know, I haven't really looked into the whole thing, but just it's obviously triggered a huge, you know, response, if you like, because you got, you know, probably some maybe upwards of 70, 80 countries, including all the European nations, you know, getting behind you like just out of nowhere, and only 5 supporting Maduro, you know, the communist countries basically. It speaks volumes. You know, it's a pretty tectonic event, and more importantly, almost all the Latin American countries are supporting the opposition except for Bolivia. And Mexico, I think, has gone neutral now. It's not. It's no longer saying, you know, Maduro. So it could have backed out a little bit. When it saw the way the world was going, you know, it didn't want to be on the wrong side of the fence. I'm not sure that, by the way, that's just, I'm not 100%. So I saw one map that showed it as a kind of a, you know, undecided. I may be wrong on that. So. Anyway, the grains are, the soybeans in particular look poised for a big upside breakout here. You know, and it could be a big one, because we've been basing out on this for a while now, and we're up at the 920 area, and jeepers, it looks awfully like these grains could just gap up and they could really go for a big move. And that would obviously help the metals. And when you get in this kind of a buying frenzy that's developing, I mean, look, there's not that many days in the history of gold that go up this much in one day, really. No,
especially after being quiet for as long.
Exactly.
And look at the consolidation this week. This is just a 30-minute chart, but we consolidated in this. Between these two zones right here. It started really last Friday, and it continued on all week, back and forth, coiling, as some call it, and then there it is.
Yeah, I mean, Dwayne, there's a huge short position in these good metals, and boy, you know, they must be sweating today, because it actually looks like the gold could gap up next week. Assuming we close strongly today, as strong as we are, or higher, and you know, we gap and go next week. I mean, I think we could be up $20, $30, $40 before you know it, and it really, you know, this next stage looks like it's going to be a near vertical advance. You know, it's not going to be, you know, from the bottom in August. That's taken a long time. The reason why this bottom has gotten the shorts kind of snookered, if you like, is because it's almost like they're giving them more rope to hang themselves. You know, the way the metals have gone up, you know, it looked like a short a lot of times. You know, it looked like it was going to break down again, and now that we're sort of breaking out forcefully, you know, it's really starting to feel like there's going to be a really big short squeeze. And as I was just saying to somebody yesterday, you know, think about this. The August bottom is sort of similar to the October 4th bottom of 2011 in stocks, right? And while we came off that bottom, probably in about the same way as we've come off the gold, since the August lows. So over a few months going into the end of the year of 2011, the market started going up, and then it really took off in 2012. And for the next 4 years. So, this could be the beginning of a really, major uptrend in the metals here. This move ain't accidental. There's something really big pushing these markets higher today. And if this uptrend continues with this kind of power, the shorts are going to have, they're going to be unwinding their shorts very, very aggressively. And look, the Russians continue to buy gold, 1 million ounces every month, almost 40 tons or so. Chinese have just, recently increased for the first time in quite a while. All these other nations like Hungary and newbies, Poland, that are coming in and starting to buy gold. I think Venezuela did some kind of a gold deal.
Yeah, they did a redemption. They had borrowed some money and put up gold as collateral, and I guess they paid off the loan, and they wanted their gold back.
Well, that's very bullish. That could be part behind this as well, because people might have been anticipating Venezuela is going to dump the gold or something. So that's pretty positive. Russia, they're pretty smart guys. These Russians, financially speaking, they've been buying gold now at a tremendous rate for a long, long time. They've been accumulating gold since the 2000s, since the mid 2000s, and ultimately it could be incredibly valuable to Russia, because if we get into a situation, in spite of the recent drop in oil, there's no guarantees that oil prices aren't going to go to new highs in the next year or so, because the demand is going to continue to rise, and the supply of oil is not by any means, there's a lot of fields running out of oil. There's a lot of articles come out recently saying, even though the U.S. is doing a fantastic job becoming self-sufficient in oil, the shale is to some extent, some disappointments in the shale could and look, the general feeling is the Russians and the Saudis are going to maintain fairly tight rein on supply to keep the prices up. And nobody wants the oil higher than $90 or $100 than the Saudis and the Russians. And that's probably going to happen in 2020, because sooner or later we're going to get into a supply crunch, especially if the economy continues to grow as strongly as it is. And remember, look, the projections in China are just like mind-boggling. Remember, a lot of people in China are just buying cars for the first time. And even on this show a couple of years ago, I think that the estimate was that they were going to double the amount of cars on the road in China by 2020. That was back in 2016. So, China is continuing to import more and more oil all the time, and that trend's going to continue. And the other thing is the trucks, the shortage of trucks are also going to be a big factor in record usage of energy on the roads in the U.S. I mean, we're at all-time records now in energy, in gasoline consumption and diesel consumption.
Here's the government of Nicolas Maduro, Venezuela, has since last year been seeking to repatriate about $550 million in gold from the Bank of England on fears it could be caught up in an international sanctions on the country. Its holdings at the bank more than doubled in December to 31 tons, or around 1.3 billion, after Venezuela returned funds it had borrowed from Deutsche Bank through a financing arrangement that uses gold as collateral known as a swap. Under the deal they had with Deutsche Bank, Venezuela put up 17 tons of gold in exchange for a loan. The country's gold holdings country's gold holdings fell to 134 tons in November compared with 150 at the start of 2018. This is in part because Venezuela last year started carrying out gold barter operations with Turkey to import food, following U.S. sanctions that have made international banks reluctant to handle Venezuelan transactions. So that's the motivation. The motivation for paying back the funds from the Deutsche Bank swap gives Venezuela more gold for barter operations with Turkey to get around the sanctions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, there's political pressure on the Bank of England not to give them the gold, but refusing to hand over the gold, which belongs to Venezuela's central bank, could cause alarm among other countries that also store their bullion in the Bank of England's coffers. Maduro's government is struggling under hyperinflation. Well, it's not his government anymore, although this is a current article from Reuters. Hyperinflation now approaching 2 million% annually.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And 3 million people have left the country since 2015.
Yeah, it's very onerous on everybody down there, so well, we just have to see how it's going to play out.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm sure you want to hear the president speak here in a few minutes. Anything else?
Yeah. No, listen. Thanks very much for the invite. Have a great weekend to everybody, and look forward to catching up next week.
All right, John.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend. Okay, S&P. You know, that was just a very momentous pullback in that 30-minute candle, and now it's bounced. So some indecision here ahead of the talk. Last week we talked about dreams, and this week we've been talking about dream killers. Romans 4:17 says he stood in the presence of God, who gives life to the dead and calls into existence things that don't yet exist. When you dare to dream, God, who calls into existence things that don't yet exist, is at work within you. But there's a third dream killer you must overcome: settling for average. A God-given dream will stretch you. You can't reach for it and remain in your comfort zone. The two are just incompatible. When you settle for average, it's tempting to blame it on others or on your circumstances or the system. But the truth is, mediocrity is always a personal choice. When you don't have a compelling dream, you're in danger of having your life slip away. Author Kenneth Hildebrand puts it this way: the poorest of all men isn't the one without a penny to his name. He's the fellow without a dream. He's like a great ship made for the mighty ocean, but trying to navigate in a pond. He has no far port to reach, no horizon to lift him, no precious cargo to carry. His hours are absorbed in routine and petty tyrannies. Small wonder that he gets dissatisfied, quarrelsome, and just plain fed up. One of life's greatest tragedies is a person with a 10 by 12 capacity and a 2 by 4 soul. If you feel that your life is closer to average than you want, you need to do more dreaming. Nothing will help you break out of your rut like a God-inspired dream. And if you don't already have one, ask God to give you one. He may give it to you in an instant. It may come over a period of time, but according to His Word, He will do it. All you have to do, all we have to do, is ask. That's our good word for the day. Okay, that's gonna do it for this Friday. It is Friday, the weekend's ahead. CFRN law states that you need to spend some quality time with your family. Can you do that? Great. Thanks so much for tuning in. Sorry, my keyboard froze up. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.